We live in a world where we constantly look forward to the future. And then once we're in the future, we just look back and wish we didn't rush things so fast. So what would you tell your younger self? And what would your future self tell you to do now? Are those two the same thing? As we get older, the years seem to go by faster and faster. We pick up new hobbies, we meet new friends, we face different challenges. We experience love, we experience loss. And I don't think any of us give ourselves enough credit for everything that we've all been able to do, everything we've all been able to accomplish. I think we all need to realize that the present moment is truly the only thing that we have. So let's show ourselves a little bit of love. Love for our younger selves, love for our future selves, but most importantly, love to our present selves. Mindset is everything. I have been doing a lot of reflecting recently. I've been thinking back to my high school days, my younger self, everything she's been through, everything she's accomplished, the things that she used to worry about that were so insignificant. And I wish that I could just give her the biggest hug. And there are so many little things, little pieces of advice that I wish I could tell her. So that's why I decided to make this video, kind of as a letter to my younger self, but not only that, a letter to all of our younger selves, because no matter what chapter of life you're in, whether you're starting high school, or you're starting college, or you're getting married, I think the things that are going to be said in this video are things that we all should live by every single day. You know, when I was in high school, I used to look back on my middle school years and I used to tell my things like, I wish I did this, or I wish I didn't do this, or I wish I cherished, these moments more. And I'm still saying the same things about being in high school. But I don't want to keep saying, I wish this, I wish that, when I look back in another 5 years. So I'm using this video as a reminder to all of us of all the things that we wish we could tell our younger selves, but also things that we need to continue telling our current selves. So with that being said, I've asked some of my closest girlfriends to all send videos of what they wish they could tell their younger selves, so I hope you enjoy this video.
So the biggest piece of advice that I would give to my younger self, being 23 now and living in a new city and just being older, I would say is to say yes to everything. One thing that I've really grown to know is that you never know who you're gonna meet. Saying yes could open a million different doors to other opportunities, whether it's just like a small little dinner, a little event, a vacation, a getaway, literally anything. It could be going for a walk. You literally never know who you could meet and what things you could learn and how you could grow from that. So say yes and take the leap, the jump, and yeah.
Hi, my name is Ava. The advice that I would give to my younger self is to enjoy where you're at now. I think especially nowadays there's such a rush and like a pressure to grow up and be an adult and be a grown-up. Enjoy where you're at now. This moment is so fleeting and no chapter lasts forever, and each chapter is so special and like vital to your life story. And this sometimes like sends me thinking about this, but at this exact moment, this is the youngest that you'll ever be again. And youth is such a beautiful but also fleeting thing. Enjoy where you're at. Life is meant to be enjoyed and like not always taken so seriously. And also always be nice to yourself, especially in the world that we live in. There's so many other things going on. There's so many like outside noises and voices telling you you're not good enough, whatever it is. Be nice to yourself because you deserve it.
Hi guys, I'm Josie. If I could give my younger self or girls younger than me a piece of advice, it would be that your looks are the least important thing about you. We live in a society with such unrealistic beauty standards. Sometimes it feels like there's literally no way to win. Looking back on younger me, who was dealing with so much insecurity and was constantly worried about the way I looked, I feel like I would often miss out on things or not let myself live it up to its full potential because I was so worried about the way I looked or just wasn't feeling confident at the time. When I look back at those moments, I wish I would have just let myself have fun and live in the moment, because when we're old and we're thinking back on our younger selves, we're gonna think about all of the fun memories and experiences that we had. We're not gonna be like, oh my god, I was so pretty back then, because that's not important. There are so many things about you that make you beautiful besides the way you look on the outside, and honestly, being a good person is the most important thing, and just enjoying your life, because that deep. Being young is hard. That piece of advice really hits home for me, and I wish I could go back and tell myself that when I was younger.
Advice that I would give to my younger self. I'm 28 years old right now, so I'm still young. I'm still working on it. We're all still working on it. But I would tell myself to stop worrying so much about the future. Stop worrying so much about the next stage of life. Where am I going to go to college and graduating college, and then all the pressure of where am I going to get a job? What am I doing with my life? Who am I going to marry? When am I going to have kids? If I could look back to myself in high school and say, hey, you're 28 years old now. It's all going to plan. Everything's going to work out. Stop worrying about it so much. Because whether I worried about it or not, I'm sure that I would still be in the same place. I would still have ended up where I am today. And even now, I have pressure of when am I going to have kids? How old am I going to be when I do this? And what about upgrading my house? All the next things. There's always going to be a next chapter. Stop rushing time. It already goes by so fast. If I can share anything with anyone, especially a young woman, stop worrying. It's all going to work out.
Some advice that I would give my younger self is to not take life so seriously. I feel like it's so important to be able to take a step back and realize that not everything goes to plan. I feel like at such a young age I had so much planned out, and it's okay when it doesn't go to plan, and don't be afraid to make those mistakes, because most of the time they make you a better person and they allow you to handle situations better. I love my younger self. I wish that I could give her a hug and tell her that everything is going to be okay, because it is.
Growing up is super interesting. Things will happen that you would have never ever expected to happen. So I think it's like just rolling with the punches and trying to make the best out of every situation. If you don't have that outside validation or people hyping you up, believing in you, you have to be your biggest hype person. That's still something that I have to work so hard on, is like making sure I believe in myself, making sure I can hype myself up, because the older you get, sometimes your environment changes or your friends change or you're not by your family as much. Keep believing in yourself. Know that there's a way to get better, and there's a way that you can make a positive impact on your life and other people's lives. Be around positive people, and if you can't be in a positive environment or around positive people, give that to yourself. Be your own light. Showing yourself that love will end up reflecting, and other people will see that. And yeah, there's just so much good that you can do in the world. Never ending good.
So, if I could give advice to my younger self, I would start by reminding myself to trust my instincts. They often lead in the right direction, even when doubt creeps in. I would emphasize that failure is not something to fear, but rather an opportunity to learn and grow. Taking care of mental health is just as important as achieving goals. Stress and anxiety are real, and seeking help is okay. Relationships with friends and family are invaluable, so I'd encourage myself to cherish and nurture those connections. Investing in personal growth, whether through education, skills, or experiences, is always worthwhile. I'd also remind myself to be kind, to celebrate small achievements, and to forgive when things don't go as planned. Living in the moment is crucial. While it's important to plan for the future, enjoying the present is what life is truly about. I would urge myself to take risks and step out of my comfort zone, because some of the best experiences come from the courage to try something new. Balance is key in all areas of life, and it's okay to set boundaries and say no when needed to protect my peace of mind. That's it.
Ignorance is bliss. Sometimes you don't need to know everything, especially in this day and age. One of my favorite things to do is if someone's making me feel insecure, or for some weird reason my brain gets anxious whenever I see their posts, put them on mute, baby. You don't even have to unfollow them, just mute them. Also, the less you know, the less you can overthink. We weren't meant to know everything, and sometimes it's better off like that. Let your brain live rent-free. Ignorance is bliss, baby.
Advice that I would give my younger self is advice that I still give myself today, and I will tell this to myself for the rest of my life, and that is to be where your feet are, and by that I mean be present and don't rush through your youth. Tomorrow isn't promised, but most of you will become adults someday anyway, so might as well be a kid while you're still a kid. I know some people might be in a situation where they have a lot more adult responsibilities at a younger age, and they desire these adult-like freedoms, and they want to grow up really fast. But especially under those circumstances, it's so important to be present and soak up every little bit of your youth that you can, and carry that with you, that principle, throughout your whole life. So that's my advice. And also, don't drive distracted.
I would love to tell my younger self that she's beautiful and she's amazing and she is so insanely strong, even stronger than she realizes. And I would love to remind her that everything will be okay. I will say though, one thing that I've carried with me through my entire life, which I'm not perfect at, but definitely something that I will give myself credit. I tell myself I have a wall of I don't care, and I would literally build like a mental wall. And if I ever heard anyone talking shit or saying something about me I didn't like, if I did something embarrassing like I tripped or, you know, going on stage to perform in a musical, I would build this wall of I don't care, and any negativity from anyone else, I would just have it bounce off the wall, because at the end of the day, none of it matters. And I know that it's easier said than done, and sometimes there are cracks in that wall and things will slip through and affect you, but the more that you tell yourself you have this wall of confidence and you don't care what other people say about you, the stronger it's gonna get, and over time it is going to be so rock solid. And I'm not at that perfect point yet, but I've noticed that continuously telling myself that throughout the years, having this wall of I don't care, it has gotten a lot stronger, and it's going to continue to get stronger because I try to continuously remind myself about that. I think we all need to show ourselves a little bit more love, and we should all give ourselves the gift of looking back in 5 or 10 years and being like, wow, I'm really proud of the mindset that I had, and to do ourselves all the favor of continuing that mindset.